Hi, in this video we are going over a few problems to help you to review for the finals. The first question, you are given the function f of x and g of x. Now they ask you to find the answer for the composite function f of g of 0. Okay, so in this case we have the outside function and the inside function. So the first step is to find what is the value of g of 0. So we need to find what is g of 0 because that is what we need for the value of the function f. So g of 0, this is the function g. So you go to the function g, and anywhere you see x now becomes 0 because we find the value of function g at the point when x is 0. So your function g, 9 subtract x squared, but your x now is 0. So that should be 9. Okay. So now we have f of g of 0, but my g of 0, I just found it to be 9. So all I do now is find f of 9. And this is simple, right? This is the value of the function f when 9 is the x. So you go to function f, anywhere you see x now become 9. So 8 times x now it's become 9 and add 3. 9 times 8, 72. You add 3, you get 75 for your final answer. And the same thing to part B. This is part A. Part B, we find the other way around. So first thing, you need to figure out what is f of 0 for the inside function. F of 0, anywhere you see 0 for the f function, you plug in 0 for anywhere you see the x. 8 times 0, and then add 3. 8 times 0 is 0, add 3, that becomes 3. And now I can find part B. F g of f of 0. I know that my f of 0 now is number 3. So make the substitution of 3 to f of 0. And now you find the value of function g when x is 3. So I go to function g, anywhere I see x, now it becomes 3. So 9 subtract x squared, but my x now is 3. So 9, 3 times 3, which is 9, so the whole thing becomes 0. So 0 is right here. My next question, this is a very similar way, right? But now the notation is a little bit different, but they're actually the same thing. This is the composite function when the f function is the outside function and the g function is the inside function. So all I do now is I write f open dot g of minus 3. This is the same thing as f is the outside function, g is the inside function, and we have minus 3. Again, we need to figure out what is g of minus 3. Now you go to function g, anywhere you see x, now become minus 3. So that become minus 5. So I have f g of minus 3, that is minus 5. Now I go back to my function f, anywhere I see x, I plug in minus 5. So x squared now is minus 5 squared, plus 1 times x, my x now is minus 5. And then minus 5 squared is minus 5 times minus 5, which is plus 25. 1 times minus 5, that is minus 5. 25 subtract 5, that is 20. And then this is the same thing, but g is the outside function. G composites with f of minus 3. Your g is the outside function. Your f is the inside function. And we find a value at the point of minus 3 for x. So now you need to find what is f of minus 3. So I go to function f, anywhere I see x now become minus 3. Plus 1 times x, and my x now is minus 3. Minus 3 squared is minus 3 times minus 3, that's plus 9. Minus 3 times 1 is minus 3. 9 subtract 3 is 6. So I have g f of minus 3, which is 6. And now I need to figure out what is the function of the function g when x is 6. I go to function g. Anywhere I see x now becomes 6. 6 minus 2, which is 4. Okay, next question. Select all of the following tables which represent y as a function of x and are 1 to 1. Okay, so in order for you to get the 1 to 1 function and y as a function of x, for each value of x, you only want to have one value of y. And for each value of y, you only want to get one value of x. Okay, so we can check the first one. 4, 6, 11. They are all different. And however, we have two values of y, right? So the y, we have two of them that give the same value of y that give you two different values of x. So this is not 1 to 1. How about this one? 4 go to 5, 6 go to 9, 11 go to 12. They are all different, so it should be yes. 4 go to 5, 6 go to 9, 6 go to 12. Now, one value of 6 for x, another value of 6 for x. So one value of 6 give me two different values of y. So this is not good. You need one value of x to give you exactly one value of y, and one value of y to give you exactly one value of x. That is the function and also 1 to 1. Okay, the next one, assume that the function f is a 1 to 1 function. Now they ask you to find the inverse function. F minus 1 is the inverse. Now this one, f, they give you f of 7 equal 5. 7 here means the x value, right? And then f of 7, this is the y value. So they give you the x value of 7. They give you the y value to be 5. Now they ask you what is the inverse function of 5. That means they give you the value of 5 for x, and they ask you what should be the value of y. So because this is the inverse function, and we assume that it is 1 to 1, so all the x and y, they are switching together, right? X go to y and y go to x. Your x now become 5, so x now become 5, so your y should become 7. And then the same thing here. We give you the inverse function. We ask you what is the normal value, because the inverse function and the original function, they are the inverse of each other. The x become y, the y become x. So now you have minus 7. This is the x value. So you need to find the y value, and the y value should be the y value of the original function is now the x value of the inverse function, which is minus 9. So they just switching, right? You have x, you have y. So x is minus 9, y is minus 7. And now your inverse function, you switch y minus 7 to the x. So the y of the inverse one should be the x of the other function, which is minus 9. Okay, let's go to the next question. Okay, you are given a function f of x, and you are asked to find the expression for the inverse function. Okay, so we start with the normal function. F of x equal 3x minus 6. You need to figure out what is the inverse function. So the way we do this is we let f of x to be y, and y equal 3x minus 6. Now we interchange the x and y together. So the y now become x, the x now become y. And then from here, we start solving for y. So I add 6 on both sides, right? So I have x plus 6 equal 3y. To solve for y, I divide by 3 on both sides. So I have y to be x plus 6 over 3. And y now is my inverse function. So x plus 6 divided by 3. Okay? And then the graph of the f and the inverse are symmetric with respect to the line y equal which one? We know that they are respecting to the y equal x by definition, right? Okay, the next one is about the logs. They ask you to rewrite the log function in the form of the exponential. Now, let's go to part A. By definition of the log, we know that the base A take to the power of 1 over 3, a to the power of 1 over 3 equal to, okay, by definition. So we are in this format here, right? A to the 1/3 power equals c. So my a is your a, b is the exponent, which is 1 over 3, and my c is a constant from the right hand side, which is 2. And then do the same thing to the second one. Log 2 1 over 32 equal minus 5. So by definition, we go from here, we go up here, and we return back. So 2 is the base to the power of minus 5 equal to 1 over 32. So D is the base 2, E is the exponent minus 5, and F is a number here, 1 over 32. And then write the exponent in the exponential form, assuming that all constants are positive and not equal to 0. So this is very simple, right? We follow the same process. We go from here up to here and then return back here. So t to the power of r equal y. This is the exponential form. And then now we solve for the value of z. So solving for this is actually easy. We just use the definition of the logs. We go here and return back here. So 4 to the z power equal 16, right? So what should be the value of z? We know that 4 to the first power is 4. 4 to the square power is 4 times 4, which is 16. So this is what we want. So number 2 should be z, because 4 squared is 16. So your z should be 2. Right. Next question. Solving for this log again, very simple. We have to apply the rule. So go up here, return back here. So 8 to the power of minus 12 equal w. Now you want to figure out what's the value of w. Now this is the negative exponent. So first thing is you need to convert it to the positive exponent. So the way we do that is we put the 1 on the top, we bring the 8 to the bottom, we change the minus to the plus, and that is w, right? And w is equal to 1 over 8 squared is 8 times 8, which is 64. So 1 over 64. The next questions, solve for x in each of the equation below here. Actually, it's very simple. We know that there's many properties of the logs. When the base a and the argument a here, they are the same. When a and a are the same, then they cancel out each other. You get minus 1 on the left hand side. So x equals minus 1. The same thing here. When a and a, they're the same, they cancel out each other. So you have 1 on the left hand side. So x equals 1. Same thing here. A and a, they are the same. So you get 7 on the left hand side. and they cancel out. You have n on the left hand side, which is equal to x. And then now the next question is find the domain of the log function. Remember, this function is a log, right? The log function. This is the log function. X, y. This is the wrap of the log function. And they ask you for the domain. Domain is how far you can go on the x-axis. And for the log function, we cannot have anything less than 0 or equal to 0, because that is not defined for the log function. So the argument inside here, 8 minus 3x, the argument inside here, you only want that to be always bigger than 0. So always bigger than 0. Okay, and now you can solve for a. I mean solve for x, right? Because the domain is mean find the value of x. So I subtract a on both sides. I get minus 3 bigger than minus 8. I divide by minus 3. Minus 3. Because this is an inequality. When you divide by a negative value, you have to switch the direction of the inequality. So x is less than minus become plus 8 over 3. So comparing to these four, it looks like that only this one is true, because x less than a, right? And your a here should be 8 over 3 in order for them to be matching. And now the next one is we're using the logs to rewrite expression. So after you rewrite the expression, you should get the addition between the logs. Okay, so that's very simple. We know that we have the numerator, the denominator of z to the 9th power. The log of the ratio between them is equal to the logs of the numerator subtract the log of z to the 9. Okay, now let's simplify more. This is the property of the log. The ratio becomes the subtraction, and inside here we have the product, the multiplication. So this will become the addition, right? So the logs of x to the 10th add to the log of y to the 18, and then we still subtract the log z to the 9. And then there's one last requirement. All the exponents, you can bring it to the front of the log. So that becomes 10 log of x, and 18 you can also bring to the front. 18 log of y, you can also bring 9, so minus 9 log of z. So we see that we have log of x, log of y, log x, log of y, and log of z, which is right here. A is a number in front of a log of x, which is number 10. B is a number in front of the log y, which is 18. C is a number in front of log z, which is minus 9. So that's your answer. Okay, the next one, you are asked to write the equation of the circle center as 10 minus 5 and radius 3. We know that the standard form of the circle x minus h square plus y minus k square equal r square. This is the standard form for the circle. hk is the center of the circle, r is the radius. So we are given the center, so we are good. This is h, this is k, and this is r. So go ahead and make the substitution. H is 10, right? So subtract 10 square, and then y subtract k. My k now is minus 5 square. My r radius is 3 square. Okay, we can simplify it. X minus 10 square minus minus become plus 5, and then 3 square is 9. So this should be your equation of the circle. Excuse me. Okay, and then the next one. Again, you are given the standard form of the circle, and then you are asked to write with the diameter has the endpoints of this and this. Now you are asked to find what should be the center. HK, we are missing the center. We are missing the radius, right? So we know that these two endpoints is the endpoints of the diameter. So in order for you to find the x and the y value of the center, or the middle value of the center between the two diameter, all you do now, you're gonna find the center, right? You are given the diameter, the endpoint. So the center, h and k, your h is the x value, right? So you take the -3, you add 2, and then we divide by 2 because it's halfway for the center. And -2 plus -3 plus 2 is -1 over 2. So that is your h. And then for the k, you add the y value, -5, you add 4, and then you subtract, divide by 2. Okay, so that is what? -5 plus 4, that's -1, divided by 2. So it's also -1/2. And then how do I find the radius? The radius is just halfway between the diameter, right? So you can think of this way. -3 and the other point is 2. So in order for me, so -3 is right here, 1, 2, 3, -3, and then -2 for the other point. So this is the distance of the whole diameter. This is 1 unit, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is 5 units, right? 5. So the radius is just halfway, so that should be 5/2. 5/2 for the halfway of the radius. Okay, that is this question. And then the next one, you are asked to solve the system with the addition method. Solving the system means finding the value of x and the value of y. And you can clearly see that we are using the addition method. So when I add these two together, right, let's try here. -2x minus 7y equal -30. And then 2x plus 2x plus 8y equal 36. When you add these two equations together, -2x plus 2x, they cancel out, so it becomes 0, right? 0x. -7y plus 8y, that becomes 1y. 30 plus -30 plus 6, that becomes +6. So y should be 6. The answer for y is 6. Now, once you know the value of y, you can pick any of the two equations and you can solve for x. Okay, let's try maybe the second equation. You have 2x plus 8y equal 36. My y now is 6, so anywhere I see y, that's becomes 6. So 2x plus that equal 36. And I have 2x, 8 times 6 is 54. 54 equal 36, right? And then, sorry, 8 times 6 is 48. Sorry, mistake here, 48. And then you subtract 48 on both sides to solve for x. 2x equal 36, subtract 48, that should give me -12. And then to solve for x, I divide both sides by 2. So my x should be -6. So -6 go here. And then the last one, the last question, again, we solve the system with the addition methods. So you are trying to solve for x and you are trying to solve for y. Now let's solve for them by using this method. So again, I have ax plus y equal minus 37. Now 5x plus 9y equal minus 65. Now I see that there's 1y here, there's 9y here. I want to add them together in such a way that one of the x or one of the y cancel out. So I want to make the y here to be minus 9y. So when I add them together, minus 9y and plus 9y, they cancel out each other. So the way I do that is I multiply the whole third equation by minus 9. So again, minus 9 times 8x become minus 72x, minus 9 times y, that is plus 9y, and then minus 9 times minus 37, that should give me 333. And then I keep the second equation to be the same thing. That this should be minus right here. Okay, we put that's because minus 9 times y is minus 9y. Okay, so we keep the second equation to be the same. Now we can add them together. Okay, so minus 72 x, we add positive 5x, minus 72x, we add positive 5x, we get minus 67x, right? You add them together. Minus 9y plus 9y, they cancel out. And then 333 minus 65, you add them together. 333 plus minus 65, that gives me 268. And then to solve for x, I divide both sides by minus 67. So x should be 268 divided by minus 67. That's give me minus 4. So minus 4 is the value of y. Now once I know the value of, minus 4 is the value of x. Once I know the value of x, I can pick any of two equations and I can solve for y. Let's pick the third equation because we picked the second equation from the last example. So we have 8x plus y equal minus 37. My x now, I just found that to be minus 4. So anywhere I see x, become minus 4 plus y equal minus 37. So 8 times 4 minus 32 plus y equal minus 37. To solve for y, because we are missing that, we add 32 on both sides. So we cancel out. Minus 37 plus 32, that gives me minus 5. Okay, minus 37 plus 32, that give me minus 5. So your y should be minus 5. Okay, so that's the end of the review. Thanks for watching.